Hello and welcome to another flight report, and this week is all about Royal Air Maroc. Today I'm reviewing their 737 from Madrid to Casablanca, and tomorrow I will publish my flight on their flagship, the 787 Dreamliner. So you should subscribe right now if you don't want to miss out on part 2. North Africa is home to some very interesting airlines. I have flown TUNISAIR, which probably ranks among the 10 worst airlines in the world, and I wasn't too impressed by Egypt Air either. In December, I'll be finally flying Libyan Airlines to Tripoli, and next year I'm finally booked on Air Algeria, to say that I've tried all the flag carriers of the Maghreb region. But to give you a brief idea of how different these airlines are, I have run the numbers for you. Royal Air Maroc has one of the youngest fleets in the region, together with Egypt Air. But one fact that stands out the most to me is the employee per aircraft ratio. The Moroccan flag carrier seems to be the most efficient one, especially when comparing it to TUNISAIR, which needs a crazy 275 staff to keep a plane in the air. But now let's get on board and see how they really perform.
Guys, beautiful good morning from Madrid. Today we're flying an airline that has been requested quite often, the flag carrier of Morocco, Royal Air Maroc, on the 737 in economy class all the way to Casablanca, and in 2 days I'll be trying their Dreamliner to Istanbul, which is going to be a separate video though. So now let's fly around, which is a short version of the airline, all the way to Morocco. So check-in wasn't too busy. I hoped that the flight is not going to be too packed, get a row to myself. And thanks to my one-world flyer status, I have access to the Aviation lounge here, which we're going to check out, which usually would be the lounge you would be using if you're business class travelers. But first, let's take the train all the way to the S-gates.
Most of the days, Royal Air Maroc is operating 2 daily flights from Madrid to Casablanca, as well as 2 weekly flights to Rabat, the capital of Morocco, on the smaller E190. Madrid is a big and confusing airport, even to us frequent flyers. The Moroccan flag carrier recently joined the One World Alliance, and all the member airlines depart from the newer and nicer Terminal 4. My flight was leaving from T4 satellite, and it's quite a journey to get there, as you could probably see. But thanks to my One World frequent flyer status, I have access to the Iberia lounge, which is one of Europe's finest lounges, offering quality food and quality seating. Also, the views from the lounge aren't too bad, as you could probably see in this video. But then, after a few hours and a few gin tonics, it was time to move to the gate.
So I had like 2 hours at the lounge and I literally didn't know what to do. So I had a couple of gin tonics, and right now I'm having a little bit of a buzz, but I'm sure this is going to make the video just a lot more interesting. But when the whole TUNISAIR thing blew up, everybody was saying, while you're in the region, try Royal Air Maroc or try Air Algeria or whatever they're called, because they are just as bad. So my expectations right now are very low, but I do have a feeling that it's going to be a good flight today. So, and there she is.
It was also nice to see that Madrid airport vending machines are all about protecting yourself, whether it's your face or your willy.
So I'm the first to board this 737-800, which is 20 years old, was delivered in 2002 to Royal Air Maroc, has been flying with them ever since. Now let's see what they're like.
So if you are wondering how much I paid for this 90-minute flight from Madrid to Casablanca, it was exactly 108 euros, which is very reasonable, and it includes checked luggage.
So here we are, welcome on board to the 737-800 new generation of Royal Air Maroc. They have 31 in their fleet, and what do you make of this beautiful boarding music here on Royal Air Maroc? Also, crew has been really lovely so far, having given me a really nice welcome. And they have 147 seats in the 3-3 configuration here in economy class, and then they have 12 dedicated business class seats in the front. This is like the backbone of their regional fleets. So that's what you're most likely to fly if you're on a short flight somewhere from Europe to Morocco, for example, because they use the Dreamliner on long-haul international flights. They also have like 2 737 MAX in their fleet now, and then obviously the 787, which are going to try in 2 days. But given that this plane is 20 years old, it looks fresh, it looks clean, it looked after. Unlike TUNISAIR, who had the same plane, it was just 10 years old and it looked like a complete mess. But yeah, so far, so good. And they do have a lot of announcements here because I believe in Morocco they speak French and Arabic mostly, and then obviously English as a international language. But yeah, let me give you a little seat tour here with this beautiful boarding music in the background. It already feels like I have arrived in Morocco already. And first thing I need to point out is the seat pitch. Very generous, very nice. And the good thing is with the older seats, they usually are more comfortable, have a bit more cushion here, not as the new generation recliner seats, which you probably know from like Ryanair or EasyJet, which are very slim, very thin, and there's very little cushion. So on a long haul flight, this is so much more comfortable. Damn, I really enjoy this boarding music. It's really, really nice. And once again, people always ask me, Josh, why do you sit in the back? Do you know why I sit in the back? So I have a whole row to myself. Like literally all of the back part of the plane is reserved for me, because usually airlines start filling up the planes from the very front. So that's my personal travel hack. And also, of course, during boarding, I get to walk to the entire plane, so I can show you what it looks like, walk past the emergency row. So it gives you a nice impression of what the cabin is like.
Shortly after reaching cruising altitude, the crew rushed to perform the meal service. I was served a muffin, a chicken sandwich and a yogurt. Also, beverages were served. The food quality was really good and the service kind and efficient. To be honest, not bad for a short hop.
I mean, it's always nice when the airlines offer duty-free on flights, but I personally have never purchased anything on board. If I need to purchase duty-free, I usually do it at the airport because it's more complicated and it's much more convenient. How about you? Do you ever buy anything on board? Let me know in the comment section below. Slowly be starting our descent, I guess, because we're just leaving Spain, as you can see right here. And now we'll be going to Africa. Interesting thing though, I do have friends from Morocco, I have friends from Algeria, I have friends from Egypt, and they don't like to be called Africans, though it is part of Africa, it's part of the African continent. How do you see it? Do you think the north of Africa is Africa, or do you more consider it as like Middle East? Let me know in the comment section below. Maybe if you're from Morocco, do you feel more like an Arab or do you feel like an African? Because it's always a very sensitive issue, I've heard, but it'd be interesting to hear your point of view.
I've also noticed that 70% of you guys are not subscribed yet, so if you want to make my day and put a huge smile on my face, please hit that subscribe button. It is totally for free.
So of course I want to give you guys a loo review, and this one is a little bit more special because this loo is 20 years old, literally. So this is what it looked like, you can see it. So the interior looks a little bit different. Probably what you would expect from a plane that was introduced to service in 2002. But Given the fact that it's 20 years old, it looks spotless, it looks nice. Obviously you have a little bit of some marks here from, I mean, this Lou has seen a lot of shit, right? So, but given the fact that it still looks clean and sanitized, it's once again an indication that they do care about their planes a little more than other airlines in the region. But yeah, that's it for the Lou review here, I guess, and soon be descending, but very, very good flight, very satisfied with the overall product.
We then started our descent into Casablanca, and it was also a good time to summarize my flight experience on Royal Air Maroc's 737. It was a perfect flight, to my surprise, because I wasn't expecting the airline to perform in such a professional manner. The plane was clean and the cabin was well maintained, and the crew very friendly and super present throughout the entire flight. The airline doesn't use COVID excuses and offers a pre-pandemic experience. The meal service especially stood out for me, and I would say I got a lot more than I paid for. I can strongly recommend the airline, and I'm now even more curious about the Dreamliner experience in a few days. Guys, I'd also love for you to check out my Patreon page, where I offer some really cool extra perks, such as early access to my videos. You'll be able to join my WhatsApp group, a really cool community we have, and as well as being able to join my monthly Zoom sessions. Check out the link in the description box below. Thank you very much.
So today we're flying on their flagship, the 787 Dreamliner. So this is where it all comes down to today. How are you?
So I'm gonna try my luck. I'm gonna act a little dumb. And guys, you shouldn't miss out on my Royal Air Maroc 787 Dreamliner review, which was highly interesting. So hit that subscribe button right now to be informed tomorrow when the video comes out. Thank you so much for watching.